Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is the newest DreamWorks animated film to come to theaters, which seems really weird to say because it's been over a decade since we got a film in the Shrek franchise. Antonio Banderas returns as the voice of Puss in Boots, and he's done so much adventuring that he's gone through 8 of his 9 lives. And he's told by a doctor that it's best to go ahead and settle down and give up his life of adventuring and become a regular house cat. But Puss in Boots doesn't want that, so he goes on an epic journey to find what's known as the Last Wish, a magical power that can grant him back his 9 lives. Now, I'll be honest, when I first saw the trailer for this movie, I thought that it looked okay. I didn't look at anything amazing or spectacular. The animation looked really good for sure, but I thought it would just be like another kids movie I can see over the holidays and then just forget about it a few weeks later. But one of my friends and his partner saw it at an early screening this year, and they were just gushing over the movie. They were telling me how good it was, how heartwarming it was, how it was one of their favorite films of the year, one of their favorite animated films of the year. They just kept on raving about this movie. So that definitely caught my attention, so I went ahead and got a ticket this week, saw the movie, and yeah, they were right. Not only is this one of the best animated films I have seen in a long time, but this is on par with some of DreamWorks' best work, like Shrek 2, How to Train Your Dragon, Megamind. I think Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is some of DreamWorks' best work, and it will be remembered as one of their better animated films. Now, let me go ahead and get the obvious out of the way. The animation is spectacular. This is some of the best animation I have ever seen for any animated film ever. It is an absolute gorgeous piece of animation. It's very similar to Spider-Verse if you've ever seen that movie, and I just cannot believe how good this movie looks. If you get a chance to see this in theaters, please do so because the animation is worth the price of admission alone. You will not regret seeing this out in theaters. And the animation is elevated by some incredible action sequences, like how in the beginning Puss in Boots is fighting this giant troll, and the animation is just so fast and filled with energy that it's just so entertaining to watch. Character-wise, they're all very entertaining and extremely well written, especially Puss in Boots, who starts out as super arrogant, who loves all the attention that he gets and loves being a risk taker and loves being a famous legend. But once he realizes that he's on his last life, he starts to reflect on what he's done with his life and wonders if he ever lived a fulfilling life to begin with. That's surprisingly really deep for a DreamWorks character, especially a famous character like Puss in Boots. I'm very happy that DreamWorks is willing to take risks with this character by adding more layers and depth to his characterization, because it definitely elevates the quality of the movie. And Antonio Banderas returns as the role of Puss in Boots, and he does a phenomenal job with his voice acting as well. Especially there's this one musical number in the beginning of the movie, and man, it is just such a good musical number. Like, it just makes the movie have so much more charm and passion in it. I love it so much. But what surprised me the most is just how mature the story is in this movie. I know it sounds pretty basic when I bring up what the movie's about, how it's about Puss in Boots trying to get his 9 lives back from the Last Wish, but there are just so many themes that a lot of adults can relate to. There are themes of living through your midlife crisis, reflecting on your life, living your life to the fullest. There are so many themes here that I feel like a lot of adults can relate to. The film is also really intense as well, because the star that grants wishes can only be used once. And it's not just Puss in Boots trying to reach the star, there are other fairy tale characters trying to get to the star to make their wish as well. There are a lot of nail-biting scenes in this movie, especially in the ending when there's this climactic battle between Puss and all the villains in this giant arena. It's really cool stuff. I mean, this story is on par with some of Disney's best animated films. Like, I cannot believe I'm saying that Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is better than most of Disney's animated films that have come out since probably Coco. Like, I cannot believe that Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is this good. Like, how is this possible? Like, how is it this good of a movie? And there are parts of the story that I can relate to where, I kid you not, I had some tears in my eyes by the end of the movie. I cannot believe I'm saying that, but Puss in Boots: The Last Wish made me tear up in the theater. But definitely one of my favorite things about the movie are the villains. They are so cool and funny. A standout being Jack Horner, because he is just such a hilarious villain because he's played by John Mulaney. The reason why he's a villain is because he hates that he's a nursery rhyme and not a fairy tale. So in retaliation, he wants to use the Last Wish to literally take all the magic for himself and become ruler of the world. It is just so freaking hilarious. Like, I love how funny that is, that it's just this nobody that just wants to be this magical being. It's just so freaking funny, and John Mulaney does an excellent performance. It's just so freaking good. Oh my god, this movie's so good. And the other standout villain being the wolf. This villain has such an incredible design, from the hood that he wears, to his red eyes, to even the unique weapon he uses. I think these villains are so good that they are on par with some of Shrek's best villains like Lord Farquaad and Fairy Godmother. Like, the villains in this movie is just so good. Like, everything in this movie is just so freaking good. I love this movie. I cannot stop rambling about how good this movie is. I mean, there is just so much care put into this movie that I believe we're gonna be in a DreamWorks renaissance. You know how Disney has their renaissance when they kept on making hit after hit? If DreamWorks keeps this up and has this level of entertainment and this level of care with their movies, then we are 100% going to be in the DreamWorks renaissance for the upcoming years. And I cannot wait to see where DreamWorks takes their next animated films. I just cannot express how much I love this movie. It's one of the best films I've seen this year, and I'm definitely going to be going to see it again. I highly recommend you guys go out and see this, because Puss in Boots is just phenomenal. I just cannot believe how great this movie was. Please, just go out and see it. Quit listening to me ramble, just go out and see this movie. Please, it'll be worth your time. It is truly amazing. Guys, I want to thank you all so much for watching. If this is your first time here and you like what you've seen, be sure to subscribe for more content. And have you seen Puss in Boots: The Last Wish? What did you think about it? Be sure to let me know in the comments down below. I hope you have a fantastic night. Take care.